right. I want to make sure that you can hear me and see me. Let's make sure this volume is all the way up. Let's do a sound check right quick. Right quick. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? All right, let's turn off. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? There we go. So looks like the sound is so far so good. Let me just check everything with. I want to make sure I am in a good space that you all can see me. So just give me a moment while I just prepare my devices over here. I want to make sure that you can see me okay. Give me a second. And I think the lighting is good. Yep, I think this is good. Hey everybody, you are watching Core Inspirations. My name is Melanie and this is a channel designed with social work students and professionals in mind. So you are definitely at the right place at the right time. I'm going to give space. The time now is 8:32 and I'm going to give some space for everyone to kind of come on in. Now normally what I do, I normally try to send you all a reminder, but I didn't get a chance to do that tonight. So whoever's here is here, and whoever's not is not. As you know, I'll definitely be leaving up the replay for those. Like I said, I always try to be mindful of people's schedule. It does not always align with the time that I do my lives, but just in case you want to catch a live, it's going to be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. So we're back again. We're back at it again. So, like, are you enjoying the lives? Are you enjoying coming to see, my face every Tuesday? Are you enjoying the engagement? Are you enjoying the interactions? Do you have any questions? I want to say I got a good topic for you all tonight. I want to talk about it. I've talked about it before. But I feel like it's worth kind of talking about it. Maybe not in this particular way, but I've talked about it somewhat of the same topic matters. But what I'm going to do for right now, if you are watching, I would love to know if you're an MSW student, comment down below. If you're a BSW student, comment down below. Let me know that you're watching. Oftentimes I get so many different people feedback say, hey, I watched a video, or hey, I got this, But definitely leave a comment down below. Are you in your social work program? I love to engage with you all and, just to see where you all are at. So like I said, I'm going to give it, the time now is 8:34. So I'm going to give it, I normally try to give it about 5 minutes before we get started, just to kind of get people to kind of settle on in. So yeah, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. But for those of you who are, have been just really like tuning in and listening to the lives, thank you so much for your views. Thank you so much for just rocking with me. I really have been enjoying this. We are still in social work month, y'all. We are still very much in social work month. So I am absolutely enjoying like building content for you all so that you all can kind of engage and really kind of get some additional insight that some of you may already, have, but maybe not to the capacity of what I kind of talk about. And some of you all like don't even have an idea of where to begin. So I'm like honored, to be here. I'm excited about it. But let me, because I have my notes, I always got a pen in hand. Y'all already know that. So give me a moment. Let me gather my notes here, and then that'll give some time as well. So again, if you're watching, you can drop down a question, and then depending on the turnout for tonight, we'll have a Q&A. But again, like I said, it's based upon the turnout tonight. But nevertheless, your girl is here. She's here. So give me a moment. We're going to give some additional time, okay? The time now is 8:35. We're going to be beginning at 8:40. So how was your day? Did everybody have a good day? How many people are ready for spring? Like, are y'all ready for it? Because it's coming. Are y'all still adjusting to the time daylight savings? So y'all still adjusting to that, the time change? How we lost an hour? So far this year, I didn't really feel a difference. Sometimes I can kind of feel it, you know. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but sometimes I can kind of like, and not just, sir. I got my water in hand right here, okay? Tonight we're talking about transitioning from your classroom, from your social work classroom to your social work career. We're talking about that because that is a process. Transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. How many know? Has anybody been through that before? So let's see here. For those of you who are just tuning in, you are watching Core Inspirations. This channel is designed with social work students and professionals in mind. We're going to be getting into it. My name is Melanie, and I am the person behind the whole channel's Core Inspirations. So we're going to get started. This month is Social Work Month, and for the month of social work, I have let you all know that I'm going to be coming at you all every Tuesday, every single Tuesday for the entire month of March. Let's see how many more sessions we have left, because we're going to be going live each Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? So if you want to check a live, I want to catch a live. Oh, we got 2 more to go, y'all. So we came in on the 1st of March. And then we came in on the 8th of March. And today is the 15th. And we're going to be here again for the 22nd. And we're going to be here again, God willing, for the 29th. So we got 2 more sessions for this month. So definitely bring your questions. A lot of you all have let me know what you need. So I appreciate that. Like I said, I take a lot of what you all talk to me about or ask me questions about, and I make content surrounding those topic matters. So we got 1 more minute, and we're about to get it in. We're about to get it in. I'm just trying to give place for people to come on in who may be viewing, okay? So let me just put in the chat here where you can follow me at. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, y'all. I'm going to put my handle in here at IG. Is one word at Core Inspirations. Trying to make sure I got it spelled right, yeah. Yeah, but make sure you're following me over there as well. Well, we building community around here. So yeah, let's get into it. We are talking about transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. So around this time, this is the month of March, and then for typically, I know within my program, May was the actual graduation month. It was the graduation month. It was the end of the program that I was in. So around this time, around March, you know, around spring break, a little bit before spring break, people are actually applying to positions, social work positions. People are pondering what route they want to go. Some of you all want to go, you know, the clinical track. Some of you all are wanting to go policy and more macro social work. Some of you are going to take a break, a gap year before you even go to do your program. So there's so many different variations of decisions when it comes to what people are pursuing, what social work students are pursuing. A lot of you all are wanting to get right to your position after you've graduated. You want to land a role. Some of you are applying now. Like, I want you all to know that I know within my program, within my MSW program, and this can go for BSW students. This could go for MSW students, grad students in general, in particular to social work students. And that's what, you know, that's what this channel is all about. But it's applicable to anyone that may be in that grad school process. But definitely within that social work piece, we know like this is during the time where a lot of programs are coming to an end. they are ending that period. Some of you all had did advanced standing. Some of you all had did the 2-year program. When it comes to May, like I said, in my region, in the state of North Carolina, a lot of the programs begin in May and end in May. And I'm talking about that advanced standing. But even for the people in 2 years, you're still ending around that time. So there's a lot of thoughts that kind of, goes around this time. Like, hey, what do I want to do? What companies are best suited? So there's just so much to talk about, And it also can be something that can be very, very stressful. So I definitely want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much. But let's see here. I got some notes here, and I'm going to follow them accordingly. So we're going to touch on 3 pointers today. I like to give y'all at least 3 nuggets, 3 jewels that we're going to talk about. Something that really, one, can invoke some type of dialogue, some type of conversation, even within yourself or within your cohort, to really just kind of think about some of these things, right? So transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. Like, how are you dealing with that? I know there's people that watch the channel, that's a part of the channel, that are really like in that space. And this video is for you today. And then for the people that may wonder, they have their graduations upcoming. It may not be this May, but maybe it'll be next year, next May, Or for people that's just inquiring about, hey, what is that transition? What does that transition consist of? And how can I be prepared for it? So getting into that, we're going to start with our number 1 tip for today. Make a plan. Make a plan. Now, we all know that just because you make a plan, that everything doesn't always have to go accordingly to plan. But I feel like when you're in the mix of trying to get all them assignments done, getting those final papers done, getting those final assignments, papers, any particular task or responsibility, you're trying to finalize that to end with a bang. Hopefully you ain't just, tapping out. We got to end with a bang, right? So you have your mind on there. Some of you all may be experiencing burnout. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad when this program is over with. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad when I can just move on and just be done with another, done with school. Some of you all are really just like over the whole school process. Some of you have had life happen everybody have had life happen, but some of you all may have been dealing with some other different situations that may have occurred within your process of actually, going to school. But during this time, it can be very stressful. It can be very stressful. You got graduation plans coming up. You may have to, coordinate planning for people that may be coming in town to kind of celebrate you and be there for you. And then you have COVID. I don't know how schools are still kind of working that out. So there's so many different things that you're thinking about. But I just want to be able to give you some tips to kind of give you some different, guidance, suggestions, and everything that I provide is based upon my experiences. I'm never telling you, hey, this is what you need to do for real. You always are open to, take my tips, take my suggestions, my insights, and you couple that with what is best for you. So I'm never here to force you, but I'm here to support you through. And like I said, to give you some different perspectives about what's some things that you possibly can do. So number 1, making a plan. So these are the times to dust off that handy dandy resume, to dust off your handy dandy resumes, to start bringing out some of those marketing tools, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be marketing yourself. This is also a time to make those appointments and visits to the Career Center. If you have a Career Center within your campus, and or a person that is versed in the process of really just revamping your resume. A lot of you all, I just always encourage, don't try to, make it do what it do. Sometimes you can do that, but you want to make sure that, hey, you did all this education. You have, travail, you sacrifice, you push through, you put the grit in. You want to make sure that you are putting out there some of your best representations of yourself. So we want to make sure that your marketing tools are really A1. So I definitely would say plan out some time to actually have revisions of it. So make a plan to do your resume, and then you may have to revise it. Get eyes on it. Allow people to look at it, give you some feedback. Go to another person, give you some feedback. And I will always say it's really, really helpful, though, if you can get someone that's in your industry. Because like a lot of times people don't understand, like even with the field practicum and the field practicums for my MSW students, and then the internships, field placements for my BSW students. A lot of times, people are like, well, what do I do with my experiences then? Some people are really banking on those internships and, on the in the placement, in the field placement, that clinical practice or just that hands-on experience that some people do not have at all within the field. So you can definitely put that on your resume. Employers are definitely open. They know that the components of getting a social work degree at a graduate level is going to come with either a field placement internship and or a field practicum. So it's totally okay. It's totally okay. You definitely want to just market that and really start to look, okay, what did I do at my field placement? Okay, what did I do at my field practicum? And then you want to look and really start also just kind of seeing, okay, what particular roles do I want to go for? And you want to make sure that it's in sync. Your resume is in sync to where you're trying to go. So I would say this, and this is just a tip that I'm really giving you, because some people know and some people don't, but you want to tailor your resume to your particular position that you're going for. So you may have a resume for this position, and it may be a different type of resume for that position. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the most optimum chances of you actually landing the role, because you don't want to just go in, like I said, and everything is not going to always be for you, but you want to make sure that you can at least say, hey, I did the best I could. I made sure that I prepared myself as much as I could to land those, premium positions. So that's what I would say. Make a plan. Make that plan. What do you want to do? Do you want to start? Because I would say this, some people were so early and actually applying for roles, that they got like a offer like in May or April. And some people thought it was exciting and being on it. So you want to kind of plan to know, okay, how do I feel about that? Like, I got graduation. Is my employer willing to accept, waiting for me to graduate? Do I want to go straight into just going into graduating and then going right into, my position? Do you want to give it some time? Are you going to study and to take your test? So everybody has different needs and everybody has different goals. So it's really important that you become very aware of what your goals and your needs are, because it's not about comparing yourself to other people. Everybody has different goals. So that's another thing too. In your plan, and don't get caught up, because you're going to be hearing what people are saying they're going to do. And that's okay. That's a good thing. It should have, you excited. But don't feel the pressure to do what they're doing. You want to make sure that you have your plan and you revise it and update it and adjust it and amend it as much as you need to. So make that plan, bring out those marketing tools, your resume, utilizing and soliciting your career development center. You want to make sure that you're utilizing that resource if your school provides that, and any other career tools or resume workshops or anything else that your school may be providing, like a webinar or collaborating with particular. I know we had like little, I'm not going to say job fairs, but they had different programs where people can come in that were in different various fields. And a lot of times I feel the director of field placement would collaborate with different other universities and other field placement directors, and they would network and they would bring in different people from various backgrounds and various areas of practice. So you had people like with school social work, then you had people in academia, then you had people in the military who wanted to do, work in the military space. So I want you to utilize your resources. If there's things that's coming along through your emails, these are times that you want to make sure that you're not, missing out on some of these premium opportunities, because it could be a networking opportunity for you. So like I said, make a plan. If you feel like there's some other skill sets you need, make a plan and see what ways you can do that, okay? And then the last thing in this particular tip, making a plan, you got to get ready for them letters of recommendation. These are good times now, because I'm telling you now, a lot of your professors are going to be really already tied up with graduation plans. So you want to prepare yourself and give enough time and be respectful of your professors' times as well as for your time as well. You don't want to have to rush. And sometimes, things does happen, and I'm sure your professors can understand, but you definitely want to, like I said, make a plan. And if you can, make a plan to be able to see who you may want to reach out to, okay? Then you want to also look at those things that you did, any type of volunteership that you may have done, especially for my people that feel like you lack social work experience. You want to look into that. You want to look into that because those are things that you can utilize. What clubs or what associations were you a part of? Were you a part of any type of academic program? Were you a part of any type of, organization? What did you do? What did you give back? What skill set did you build? And I think that, you have to spend time doing that. So tonight we're talking about making this transition from your social work classroom to your social work career. And we're going to give you 3 tips. So number 1, we talked about making a plan. Making a plan. Because the transition can be a lot. You have a lot that's actually happening in that process. Like I said, you're trying to prepare to finish those assignments with a bang, to get them A's, and A's, just to get your assignments done. And then you're also probably planning, for graduation plans with your family, and then also finishing up some of your internships and your field practicums. So there's just a lot of things that is happening at one time that you want to start seeing if you can actually make some time to go ahead and plan and see what you really want. Yep. Because I can remember like it was yesterday. And I'm post-grad. I graduated with my MSW in 2019. But I can remember like it was yesterday. Just having so many different things to do. And if you are a checklist person like myself, make you a checklist, hon. Go ahead and make them boxes, make them circles, whatever you have to do, and check it off, check it off, check it off. Because it's just so important that you ponder what you would like to do. You don't want to ever come from a place of just like, oh, I'm just applying for anything. I'm going to just throw it out there and just whatever stick, that's what I'm going to take. Because you got to give yourself, like, do I really want that? Do I just really want any type of role? You want to give yourself some time to really see, okay, what roles are out there for me that fits naturally with my skill sets or with my strengths. You want to give some time. And I have videos on that. Definitely make sure that you check out the channel. I have a playlist with career and BSW. Definitely go through. I even talk about things about after the job search process. I talk about looking for roles in the social work role, how to be confident throughout that process. Like I've taken some time to really give you verbatim things that I went through in my process. And like I said, with me, it was really night and day. I want to say I applied for 7 positions and I got 6 offers out of the 7. So you want to give yourself a chance to be able to really see what roles are best for you. And it takes time, it takes planning, it takes you being self-aware. You go into your core to know what you want to do and what you do not want to do. And it's okay if certain things you just don't want to do. Now I always say be open-minded, but there's just honest some things that you don't want to do, and maybe you don't want to do it right now. You may want to do it at a later time, but maybe ideally right now, that's not what you want to do. So transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. And we talked about number 1, making a plan, and why that's so important and beneficial as you begin to prepare for graduation. And then number 2, I want to put this in here because I think, some people, I know that, getting that degree is the main goal, but I want you to be able to really self-care on yourself around this time. I want you to, in preparations to celebrate yourself, I want you to utilize some self-care practices. And in particular, I want you to really look and research what are some ways that you can cope and manage the stress that you're dealing with. Because when you have so many different layered things, you're working towards this, you're working towards that, you're working towards this. Okay, you have so much on your plate. And it's just like, okay, what do I do first? Okay, I got to send this here. Oh, okay, I got to do what? Okay, oh, I missed that deadline. So it's so many. And some of you all are going to doctoral programs. Some of you all are about to pursue your PhD to do even higher level of education. So that's what I said. Everybody's in different places, and you want to give yourself time to be able to enjoy a moment, not to be stressed, because I'm telling you, for some of you, this happens one time. You want to really savor the moment. You want to savor the moment. You work so hard to get here. You're almost close to your finish line. You're almost close to your goal. So you want to be able to enjoy that. You want to be able to enjoy that process. You want to be able to, just take that moment in and say, you know what? I'm not going to get, all stressed out And if you do, it's okay. But that's what I'm saying. I want you to start putting some self-care practices in. So I don't care if that's listen to some music, listen to, taking some walks, exercising. Even if you haven't exercised like that throughout the whole program, like this is ideal time to definitely start doing that now. You want to be able to do and have some positive coping mechanisms. Listen to some music, going out in nature. Like I said, springtime is on the rise. Journaling your process, spending some time with a family or a friend, doing something that's safe for you, right? But you want to start making sure that you plan for self-care. I'm saying this is so important. It's something that you want to definitely, make sure that you take time to do. Because some people, are calling you wanting to, know the plans, and then they may need to know details. And you may have already said, well, hey, this is the plan, and giving them an email, a flyer, a sticker, and all of that. And then they just are like, so what's the plan? You'd be like, look now. So you really, really do. You really have to celebrate your process, but you also have to take care in your celebration plans. You have to take care of yourself. Okay, we have somebody in the chat here. It says, I do agree completely. Yes, self-care is so important. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that comment. Yep, it's absolutely important. And it's important because it's something that people can really just overlook in and just the hustle and bustle of everything. Things are really kind of like, oh, I'm at the latter end of my program, and things just seem to go, it just seems to escalate. Excuse me. It just seems to escalate so fast that people are just like, oh my goodness, like, okay, I don't know if I'm going, if I'm coming, Excuse me. But it's something that I realized that I said, hey, I need to definitely, I need to make sure that I'm taking the time to take care of myself, And you have to have your moments. And then really just having that time with yourself just to say, you know what? Let me just take it in. I did this. I did that. I did this. I endured that. I was able to accomplish this, spending some time, maybe, making like with some of your cohorts, like getting up with some of them, and just have a discussion and really maybe kind of talk. And I would say, only if you're not going to get more stressed out. Now, if it's going to make you more stressed out, then I wouldn't advise that. But, if you got your crew, that you've been rocking with since your program, definitely, utilize your tribe. Definitely utilize your tribe. And, you can kind of walk through and process through some of those things, and you all can kind of hold each other accountable. So that's number two. Number two, and all of the celebrating and all of the festivities and, getting yourself prepared, make sure that you review your self-care practice plan, or if you don't have one, create it so that you can better manage that stress, okay? Because it's a real thing, okay? But tonight we're talking about transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. Yeah, what does that entail? What does that detail? What can you expect? What can you expect? And we talked about number one. Number one, making a plan as it relates to the resumes, you frequenting the career development centers. Some of you all may have to even go to the English lab as well to kind of like format and kind of, get some additional wording for resume and resume writing. You may have to take another course to kind of get up on your, brush up on your skills there. And let's start putting out these letters of recommendation. Letters of recommendation, they're going to need them a lot of times, especially if any of you are going towards the government sector. And that's my jam. I worked in the government sector for 9 consecutive years. And even after graduating, I initially applied. That was one of the places that I applied for. It was the government sector. And most of the 9 out of 10, they're going to ask for a letter of recommendation. So a lot of like I said, a lot of the employers know that a lot of the social work programs are going to be, ending, and that you recently have graduated. And they want to know how you were as a student as well. They want to kind of get that experience and knowing like, hey, what was this person like before, especially for the people too that lack experience. Even if you do have experience, most of the time they still want you to provide that letter of recommendation, but it says a lot. So you have to be looking and seeing who can I connect with, who do you form relationships with throughout your program. And I know it can kind of be an intimidating process for some people, but they understand the process. They know that you are transitioning, right? So don't feel like you're being imposing on them, by asking them for a letter of recommendation. It's understood, and they are probably more than happy to do it, especially if you respect their time, plan accordingly, and just let them know and give them time for what you need, okay? And then we talked about number 2, and all of your celebrating yourself and getting ready for your festivities and plans with your family and plans with your friends and loved ones to celebrate this amazing, amazing accomplishment, whether you're at the BSW level, whether you're at the MSW level. Kudos to you for already being in this place, But I definitely want to remind you to make sure that you're doing some form of self-care practices that are positive in helping you to cope and manage stress. And then number 3, I want to talk about this, and this is more in a place of when you've actually transitioned. Like you've graduated, you walked down, you've gotten your degree, you've celebrated, and then it's like crickets. Like, what am I supposed to do now? So I know a lot of you have heard the term post-grad depression, right? Post-grad depression, and I don't think it's a clinical DMS-5 clinical diagnosis, but it definitely is an emotional response. And what I would say from my experience is an emotional response from you grieving you being a student, and now you're being this professional, especially for the people who have never really had like a professional role before. You get so comfortable in that student role. I mean, you first, starting it off, it's like, okay, what is this? And then you find your way, you adjust, and then you get to a place where you settle in. You settle in being that social work student, and you wear that, and that's your life for like not just 2 months, but like sometimes for some people, 3 years, depending on what program you're in, 2 years, 1 year. So it's something that you have to kind of like readjust. So when I say you're grieving from being a student, yeah. You're grieving from the change in your routine, the change in your schedule. You had this time, you had this class. This time, you had this class. Okay, no, that's where I go chill with my girls. Oh, this is where I normally go spend some time with my dad or spend some time with my mom. You had a very systematic process. And now to not have that, it's almost like, okay, what do I do? And even with the time frames, like say if you're, waited to after you graduated to start putting things in, now it's that wait time. Like, oh man, so I put this in. Okay, I haven't heard anything back. Okay, I did my resume. I did this. I'm not hearing anything back. Like it can be a very frustrating place. You can feel that you're like, imposter syndrome can come up too. You can kind of feel like, okay, I don't think I'm ready. I know I got a degree, but I don't have experience. And then it can be this too. This is something that I want you to also be mindful too. For the people that may have applied for positions in March, like this month, March, and then if you wait again for May, the requirements may change. So at one moment they may say, okay, MSWs are the main thing that they need. And then it may shift to like, oh no, we need you to have your license, So I've seen that. I've experienced that. So you want to definitely, give yourself time to really know. And if you work the plans, and like I said, make a plan. And if you, work on trying to really monitor, your stress and how you do, like where you at emotionally, like really start to stay in tune to who you, like yourself, self-care, but self-aware, like really knowing how you are really doing, So it's really important that you that you really pay attention to yourself during this time. But definitely when you are done with everything and everybody's celebrated and all the family members are back to where they're going, and you're just like, at this time, I would be about to prepare for this class. At this time, my internship would have been going on, So it's really hard. But I want you to be encouraged to know that, hey, you're transitioning, and then what that means is that you're changing. You're going through a change process, and you're naturally going to have emotions within that process. If you were used to doing something for a duration of time and it just changes, and I wouldn't say abruptly because it's coming, right? But it doesn't matter that it's coming. It still is an emotional response that your body goes through, that your mind goes through, that your emotions goes through. So I feel like reaching out to if you're wanting to talk about it, or if you feel like it's really, becoming to a place where it's affecting your function and your everyday being ability to function in life, I definitely would say seek a professional on it, because it may be some additional things that may be there that you are not aware of. But it's a real thing. It's a real emotion to grieve the student of you. And then how do you prepare for this professional? Like, who's this person? How do I supposed to be? How do I, adjust to this newness? I've waited and I, planned my whole life around this very moment, and now I have this moment. So what do I do with this moment? You walk it out. You pray it out. You live it out. And you step it out little by little, one step. And I would say I would encourage you to develop new routines. Develop some new routines. Was it something that you wanted to do health-wise related? Was it something that you wanted to do, to travel? Do you need to take a gap year? Do you need to take some time off before you just go straight out? Do you need to, take another vacation to kind of center yourself? I would say be open to all of that. Some people may not need to just jump right into a role, I know you'll feel the pressure because other people are like, oh, I got this, I got that, I heard this, I got that. I just accepted the role, but like I said again, what do you need? What do you want? What do you need? What do you want? Because it really is about that, and you have to be very clear. So let's see, we have another question. How can we prepare for that transition? Yeah, but really, like I said, I'm never here to tell you exactly what you have to do. But taking some of these 3 pointers tonight, transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. Number 1, making that plan so that you're prepared. What's my resume looking like? Have I utilized my career resource department? Have I already reached out to the people that I feel like I'm going to need letters of recommendations for? What type of social work role do I want to go in? What do I really want to do? And then to give yourself some time frames, Do I want something within the next 2 to 3 months after grad school? Do I want something in the next 6 to 8 months? A year, 2 years, It all depends upon what you want. If you want to give yourself time to study, you want to just say, hey, I got all this information in my clinical program. I want to go right in and take my clinical, my ASWB exam, and I want to just go ahead and knock that out. It really goes upon what you're wanting to plan for. And then number 2, implementing those self-care practices as you prepare for your graduation plans, your graduate plans, making sure that you're incorporating some positive coping and stress management techniques. You want to put that in there. If you love music, you like to dance, you want to walk in nature, exercise, sing, journal, anything that you feel like is going to help you to be able to manage your stress and cope better. I would say, as long as it's positive, you're not hurting yourself and anyone else, go at it. And then I would say, too, like I said, at the end of it, just being mindful that there may be a period of time after the program is over with, you may find yourself in a space of like this unknown, like fog. Like, okay, what in the world do I do with myself now? And to realize that it's normal to feel that way, but again, if it goes to, it's constant and it's persistent, and you feel like you can't get out of bed, or you feel like you're not able to really, have interest in what I would say at that point you would seek a professional. I would say seek a professional if that's what you, feel like you want to do. But it may be helpful for you. And then there may be services that you can still utilize even while you just graduated. Because I know we had a counseling department on our campus as well. And you would just simply, schedule an appointment just like anyone else would. And sometimes those services are at free and no cost to you at all. So utilize your resources. At your particular campus within your program, because you may need that. It may be just a conversation. Maybe you're not depressed, but maybe you want to talk with somebody to really work through just your next steps. You want to kind of talk with them about, hey, I think I just need to kind of talk through like what I'm thinking about next, or it's maybe you're frustrated because you didn't land that role that you really, really wanted, and you're like, oh, that would have been just bomb to be on my resume to start my career off. Just know what's for you is for you. I'm a firm believer in that. You don't have to believe that. But I really feel like there really are no coincidence that what's for you is for you. And that you have to be able to be open-minded, Because just because one role is not maybe your ideal role, what ways can you still learn from that role? What ways can you further develop that maybe help you get to your ideal role? So I'll say that too. It's just a bonus, Be mindful and open to other opportunities that may not come packaged in that career move, that you may initially thought you wanted to do, but it very well may be beneficial for you in the long run. So be open, But yeah, y'all, we got it. Like I said, it's a little quiet in the streets over here in the channel today, but it's okay because you'll be able to see the replay. But transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. We talked about it. We talked about 3 pointers, okay? If you are liking the content around here, definitely don't hesitate to comment below. So that way I know that you're really getting something out of what I'm doing. I've committed myself to come in and to support you all for the month of social work. Here. If you have topic matters that you want to talk about, like I said, definitely DM me on Instagram. I put my handle in the chat. It's at Instagram, one word, Conspirations. If anybody is in the background just looking, if you have any questions, this will be the time now to answer, ask those questions so that I can give you some one-on-one insight. But yeah, we talked about it, y'all, transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. It's not as easy as it sounds, and though there's so much to celebrate, there's still a lot of different things that goes along with that, right? So we talked about number 1, making a plan, know what you want, know what you don't. Number 2, making sure that you're implementing some self-care practices as you are celebrating yourself in those graduate plans. And number 3, being aware that you may feel some kind of way when you are out of your routine and being a student. So there may be a grievance process that you may kind of go through because of the change. We all react to change in different ways. So I don't want you to feel bad if you find yourself in this unknown place, a place of just like, I don't know, uncertainty, imposter syndrome, feeling like you have the degree, but you really like, I don't know, No, you did the work. If you really did the work, you did the work, right? And it's kind of hard to fake it with social work, It really is kind of hard to fake it because there's so much hands-on that goes along with the curriculum and the ways that the program is developed. So if you got your BSW degree, if you got your MSW degree, congratulations. And definitely comment below and let me know if these tips were helpful for you. But we have talked about it, you all. And I don't see anyone else in the chat right now. So we're going to call it a night. Just come in and get it, right? But I'm enjoying, like I said, and talking with you all. Some of you all have been reaching out. I definitely have been seeing the increase in the channel. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be a resource for you all. I really am. Hopefully you are rocking out your programs. I love to hear where you're at in your programs. I love to hear about your areas of practice and your plans of what you're wanting to do with your program and then afterwards. But like I said, it's not always easy making a transition in any kind. But definitely when you have been in the classroom setting and you know all about like being a student, and then now that student is just like, oh, you're a professional now. You've been given something else. Deal with it. Do it. Make it work. There's a process to that. And I just wanted to acknowledge that it's not always an easy transition. But we talked about it. Transitioning from your social work classroom to your social work career. So you have a wonderful, wonderful night. And I will see you on the next live next week. So I'm going to say it one more time just to make sure I've reached the people in the back. So we are coming back in on the 22nd, and then we're coming back in on the 29th, and I'm out. Thank y'all so much for watching. You are watching Conspirations, a channel designed with social work students and professionals in mind. Y'all have an awesome, awesome evening.